Hi, welcome back guys. This is your sensei, back with another fanfiction. This is the movie of What If Naruto Became a Transcendent Child. Now before starting, please give this video a like and subscribe to the channel if you want more videos like this. Now let's get into the fanfic. Solitude, the pain of being alone, a pain that undoubtedly cuts deep into one's heart. The pain of being alone is one that can plunge even the purest of souls into darkness. To those who are unfortunate enough to know this pain, they can attest to that. Losing the people you love and care for is a feeling of hurt that outclasses even the strongest ninjutsu. But that doesn't even compare to the feeling of never having anyone ever. Naruto Uzumaki knows this feeling all too well. He sadly watched all of the kids leave the playground with their respective parents. The 8-year-old's eyes looked down to the floor as he thought, why don't I have that kind of love? The kids and their parents laughed together as they talked about what they were going to do once they arrived at their respective homes. The sun was setting, signifying that it was time to get ready to get back home. Home. There was nobody waiting for him back at Naruto's so-called home, if one can really call it that. The young blonde had done everything in his power to get the attention of other people. He pulled pranks and intentionally got on the nerves of his teachers and peers, all in the hopes of receiving a fragment of the affection that one gets from people they share a connection with. But even after all of that, at the end of the day, nobody will be waiting for him at home. Naruto trudged back to his apartment. There was nothing to do here anyway. Everyone is going home, so he might as well do the same. Go home alone, sleep alone, and wake up alone. That is the cycle of loneliness that Naruto Uzumaki had grown accustomed to. Being an orphan his whole life, he never had parents or siblings. Solitude was the only thing he knew. It was his life. It was the world. It was the constant that was guaranteed in his life no matter what. No matter what he did, he would always be alone. It was as if some god cursed him from birth. The curse prevented him from ever feeling the love that everyone else got to feel. He entered his apartment. It was a husk, the bare minimum of what one would call a livable apartment. Hers and Sarutobi, the sandaime of Konoha, gave this apartment to Naruto. The boy was thankful for the old man giving him this, but he still asked him why he had to live here alone with no parents or siblings. The Hokage didn't answer his question and simply told him that he will give him enough money for food and living expenses every month and not to waste it. Naruto always felt that the old man was hiding something from him. A secret about his past and family. He had asked the Kage what his parents were like. The god of shinobi simply said, they gave their life fighting for their home. Naruto always wondered what his parents were like. When the old man told him that, he smiled in joy. At least he knew that his parents were noble shinobi. But the way that he said it implied that there was more to them. But Hiruzen wouldn't budge. He refused to answer any other questions about them. Naruto looked around his empty apartment. He sighed as he wondered when he will be able to defeat this dreaded feeling of solitude. Young Naruto Uzumaki. Naruto immediately jumped in surprise when he heard a deep voice. He looked around frantically. There shouldn't be anyone but himself here. So why did he hear somebody's voice? Who's there? Where are you? The young blonde was on edge. If someone had broken into his house, that probably meant they didn't have the best intentions. He was only 8 years of age, so he didn't properly know how to defend himself yet, which was good enough reason to worry for his safety. Fret not, young one, for I am not your enemy, and stop looking around. You will not find me here. The words of the mysterious voice soothed Naruto just a bit, but he still wasn't sure if it was friendly or not. He needed to make sure his life was not in danger. H, how can I be sure that I can trust you? If my intentions were to harm you, then I would have already done so. Besides, there is no reason to hurt an innocent 8-year-old boy. Naruto's breathing became a little easier. Okay, I guess that makes sense. Fine, I'll trust you for now. Now can you tell me where you are? The voice chuckled at the boy's question. Well, physically, I'm dead. My body has long been buried ages ago. Naruto fell down to the floor in shock and fear. Wait a minute, you're dead, so that means I'm talking to a ghost. Please don't tell me my house is haunted now. Calm down, young one. I'm not just a ghost, and I'm not here to haunt your house. I'm here to help you on your journey. Naruto was even more confused. Journey? So if you're dead, how are you speaking to me right now? It's a technique that I created during my time when I was alive. It allows me to speak to souls even from beyond the grave. Really, that's awesome. You think you can show me that? Naruto had never heard of a jutsu that gives you the ability to communicate with dead people. Even though it sounds creepy as hell, it still sounds like a phenomenal jutsu and one that is not easy to master. If he can learn this, maybe he will finally receive some acknowledgement for a change. And maybe he'll finally get to speak to his parents. I can and I will. Naruto's eyes lit up when he heard the voice's response. Sweet, thank you so much. But, Naruto stopped in his tracks. But what's wrong? Was there something he needed to do before he could fully master the technique? In order for me to show you this certain technique and so much more, I must first see something. See what? Naruto was starting to get nervous. If he meant that Naruto had to show that he was good at performing ninjutsu, then he was screwed. The only jutsu the young blonde was really proficient at was his Y-jutsu. For some reason, everything else was impossible for him. He tried, but he could never properly utilize his chakra, which made him the laughing stock of the academy. I must see what path you will take. Naruto began to scratch his head. Ghostson, you're losing me here. What exactly do you mean by what path I will take? Are you talking about the path I take when I go to school? No, young one. What I'm referring to is much more significant and deeper than simply the road you take each day to the academy. No, what I mean is the road that you will take in your life as a shinobi. What will you fight for? What will you represent? Who will you protect? Will you stay true to yourself and your dreams? Will you bring this world to peace or to its certain demise? Those are the questions that I must have answered. And once I have my answers, then we can talk about teaching you my jutsu. Since Naruto was only 8 years old, he couldn't fully understand everything that the dead man's voice was telling him. But he could definitely tell that it was serious and important. He also felt that the voice was trying to entrust him with something precious and sacred. But in order for him to do that, Naruto had to prove himself worthy of his precious technique and secrets. If there was one thing about Naruto, it was that he would never let you down no matter what. Ghost-san, I don't fully understand everything you're telling me, and you're probably not telling me the whole truth. But for some reason, I feel like I can trust you. You're entrusting me with so much. I know that this is very important to you. The fact that you took the time to speak to me even after you have already died is proof enough. So I'm willing to do whatever it takes to prove to you that you didn't make a mistake. The old soul smiled. Naruto may still be young, but he was already speaking like a noble shinobi. It's a shame that he couldn't live in the same time period as him. The boy's fiery ambition is unmatched. If only he didn't have to live in such unfortunate circumstances. But those unfortunate circumstances will change soon enough. You're right, young Naruto. This is very important. But not just to me. This is all for the sake of the world. The world. Tell me, Naruto, you want to become Hokage, correct? Naruto grinned as he put his fist up. Of course I do. I'll become Hokage and surpass all of those that came before me. I'll prove everyone who doubted me wrong, and they will all have no choice but to acknowledge me. I see. That is your dream, isn't it? Naruto put his fist down as his expression took more of a somber tone. It's more than a dream, Ghost-san. It's something I have to do and I will do. It's all I ever wanted. I can't go back on my word. I have to become the strongest Hokage. Anything less than that and I'm a failure. I see you're very serious about this, aren't you? Of course I will become Hokage no matter what. I'll be just like my idol, Yondan, the one who saved the village from the demon fox spirit 8 years ago. He sacrificed his life for the sake of his home and people, and he did it with no hesitation at all. I bet you he was even happy to die for the sake of his people. That is the Hokage I want to be, one that is strong enough to carry the burden of everyone and protect them with a smile. I want to be just like the fourth Hokage. The soul could only grin. The irony in that last statement. He was almost shocked that such a young boy was already willing to lay his life on the line for the village. Really, you're willing to do that even after the way that the villagers have treated you? Well, yeah, even if they haven't treated me the best, it doesn't matter because a true Hokage should be able to protect his people regardless how he feels about them. Because that is his duty. If the fourth Hokage was willing to sacrifice his own life for the safety of the village, then why shouldn't I be able to serve the village as well? Even if they shun me, it doesn't matter. If I have to earn their respect, then I will do so. And then I will put my life on the line for them against anyone and anything. That is how a Hokage is meant to act, and it is how I will act once I earn that title. You really are something else, Hokage. The will of fire indeed burns brightly within Naruto. To have such determination from an early age is almost unfathomable. But alas, if he is the one, then it should be no surprise. He must have this kind of mentality even from a young age. It will only help further strengthen his resolve for the threats that will soon come. Alright then, you said you want to be Hokage, right? You want to surpass all of those that came before you. Naruto nodded frantically. Yes, 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 how many times do I have to say it? Ghost-san, I'm going to become the strongest Hokage there ever was. Naruto meant what he said, and no one was going to stop him from achieving his dream. Okay then, I can't wait to see you prove it to me. Prove it, but how do you expect me to prove it to you? I'm only 8, I still have to graduate from the academy before I can even become an official Konoha-nin. Naruto thought the dead soul was insane for thinking that an 8-year-old can become Hokage. He can barely use chakra, damn it. You didn't let me finish, Naruto-san. You don't have to do it right now. You're right in the fact that it is preposterous to think that a little 8-year-old boy can live up to the expectations of being the Hokage. But what I need to see is the path you will take. Like I said, I need to make sure I'm not entrusting my power to the wrong person. You don't understand now, but there will come a point in your future where you must make a choice. And that choice will dictate the path you will walk in for the rest of your life. For the sake of the entire ninja world, I need to see what choice you will make. If you really are the one that will save this world, then you will receive everything you ever wanted and more. Naruto listened carefully to the old soul's words. While he didn't like the fact that he had to wait to prove himself, it made sense even to his 8-year-old brain. He had to prove himself. It's what he wants to do after all. He doesn't want to get handed anything. That's not the Hokage way. He will learn every single thing on his way to the top. If he does it any other way, then the title of Hokage would be meaningless. That's fine by me, Ghost, and I understand that I'm going to have to work for everything I want. I wouldn't be a true Hokage like my idol if I expect to be handed everything. So whatever choice I have to make to set myself on the right path, I'll do it, just to prove to you that I am worthy of your power and will become the greatest Hokage of all time. You better be watching me, Ghost-san. Yes, that's what I like to hear. Pursue the challenge head on, prove everyone that doubted you wrong. A bright yellow light enveloped Naruto for a quick second. It then vanished, causing the young blonde to look around in confusion. What was that light? Don't worry too much about it. All I did was place a seal on you so that if and when you become ready, I can entrust you with everything I left to aid you on your journey. Naruto liked the sound of that. He only had one more question. When will I know I'm ready? If he were alive in a physical body, the old soul would be giving Naruto a shit-eating grin. You will know when the time comes. Just remember everything I told you and everything you told me. Naruto then felt the voice fading. What's wrong? I'm approaching the time limit I set for this encounter. Listen to me, Naruto. If you make the right choice when the time comes, then you will gain a priceless reward. A reward that you could only dream of. But you have to prove yourself first. I will be watching you from here on out. Do whatever you need to do to be ready for when the time comes. Work hard and don't lose your way, and if you truly are the one, then you will surpass every single expectation anyone has ever placed on you. Become the Transcendent Hokage, Naruto Uzumaki. That was the last thing Naruto heard before the voice of the old soul completely faded. Naruto let go of the breath that he didn't even know he was holding. That was truly a nerve-wracking experience. He had no idea that he was going to come home to a ghost talking to him from inside his head, promising power to reach his ambitions. Even though he was creeped out at first, he enjoyed his conversation with the soul. If what he said was true, then he had a lot of work to do, and he couldn't afford to slack off anymore. If he was truly going to transcend everybody that came before him, then he's going to have to earn it. No longer will he be the dead last of the academy. No longer will he be seen as the laughingstock and troublemaker. They won't be laughing at him anymore, because when he's done, they will have no choice but to acknowledge the greatest Hokage. Just you watch, Ghostin. You're putting your bets on me, and for that I can't let you down. I'll be the greatest shinobi ever, strong enough to protect the village from any attack. And I'll do it with a smile on my face as I carry everyone's burden, believe it. A new fire has sparked within Naruto, one that wasn't there previously. Talking to the soul has given him hope and determination to achieve his goal that he wouldn't have received if had not talked to him. Before, Naruto wanted to become a Hokage, but now he needed to become the greatest Hokage. Naruto began preparing for bed. He had a long day ahead of him and a lot of work to do. It would be best if he gets as much rest as he can and wakes up bright and early in the morning. As Naruto slept peacefully for the first time in a long time, a certain nine-tailed fox inside of him was thinking about everything he just heard and witnessed. Kurama smirked, showing all of his sharp teeth and fangs. It looks like things are about to get really interesting. This brat might actually amount to something. I will be watching you too, Naruto. Prove to me that you're worthy of being the greatest Jinchuriki. 4 years later. Damn it, what the hell do I do now? Naruto Uzumaki, who is now 12 years old, was currently panting as he held a giant scroll close to his chest. It was the Forbidden Scroll of the Leaf Village. This scroll was filled to the brim with dangerous techniques and ninjutsu. They were so dangerous that Hashirama Senju, the first Hokage, declared the scroll as forbidden and ordered it to be locked away from the public. Well, why does Naruto, a 12-year-old, have access to such a scroll, you may ask? The short version is that he stole it. Oh wait, you want to know why? It was the day of the Ninja Academy graduation exam. The assignment was simple. In order to graduate from the academy and become a genin, you had to perform the clone jutsu and produce 3 viable clones. It was one of the basic 3 jutsus that the academy taught the students to learn, and it was fairly easy to perform. Unfortunately for Naruto Uzumaki, it was literally his worst jutsu. He was able to effectively perform the other 2 jutsus, which were the substitution and transformation jutsu. But for some reason, he just couldn't get the clone jutsu right. Even after all of the training and hard work he decided to put in after talking to Ghostin, he started taking studying seriously enough to the point where he was no longer dead last in his class. He actually got passing grades, and was able to get to at least an average intelligence level for a shinobi. Hell, he even laid off the pranks a bit and started focusing on his Shuriken Jutsu and Taijutsu. Haruka and his peers were undoubtedly surprised by Naruto's new attitude. He walked into class one day and didn't say a single word. He didn't sleep in class. He didn't skip class. All he did was focus and take notes. He didn't speak out of turn. Naruto even asked for help when he didn't understand a particular topic, which was something he never did. Needless to say, Haruka and Naruto's peers appreciated the shift in attitude. He was finally applying himself, and him becoming Hokage was seeming to be a lot more likely than it was before. But even with all of that effort, it was for naught if he couldn't pass the final exam. Naruto simply just couldn't perform the clone jutsu no matter how hard he tried. He did everything he was supposed to, but it was just so hard for him. It was like trying to push a brick wall. When Haruka had no choice but to fail him, Naruto couldn't help but feel like he was letting Ghostin down. He believed in him to become the greatest Hokage, but he couldn't even perform a measly clone jutsu. How could he be so pathetic? He promised the soul that he would earn his trust and powers. What was he doing all of these years? He thought he did everything right. Was it just not enough? Or maybe, I'm just a failure and everyone who doubted me was right. I can't believe I would let Ghostin down like that. I just made myself look like a liar. Mizuki came to Naruto after he failed the test. He told the young blonde that there was another way he could graduate. Naruto, being in the desperate situation he was in, obviously listened and did what he was told, which led him to the situation he was in right now. Apparently, Mizuki tricked him. Naruto believed that he had to take the scroll and learn the ninjutsu within it, and once he mastered one, he would show it to Haruka and then he would pass him. However, Naruto was played for a fool. he did end up reading the scroll. The entire scroll. Since Naruto has been studying over the past couple of years, he was able to read through the entire scroll fast enough and he even comprehend all of the forbidden techniques. Obviously he can't perform all of them right now since some of them have certain requirements, the Ito Tensei being an example of one of them. But he did get everything down to a T. But when Iruka and Mizuku arrived, it all went downhill from there. Mizuku used him to get the scroll for himself. This was no damn test. It was a scheme to get him to give the scroll so he could use it for whatever purposes he wanted. Naruto couldn't believe he let himself get used like that. But it made sense, considering he was in a pretty desperate situation, and he didn't really think it through all of the way. And then he learned the truth, the secret that had been kept from him ever since he had been born. Mizuki said he was the nine-tailed fox that attacked the village 12 years ago. The fourth Hokage sealed him into the current form he was in. This was the reason all of the adult villagers resented him. It was the reason he had been alone all of his life. Because he was a demon that killed people. It was too much to take for Naruto. Not knowing who to trust at the moment, he ran off with the scroll in hand. He didn't know where he was running to. But he just needed to get away. He needed time to process things. His entire world was starting to crumble. Was everything he believed in a lie? Was his goal to become Hokage just a pipe dream now? There was no way they would make a demon the Hokage, right? The village wouldn't acknowledge that. How could they place all of their burdens on a demon? Tears began to escape Naruto's eyes. Am I really just a monster? He whispered under his breath as he didn't want to believe a single word that came out of Mizuki's mouth. Maybe I do hate the fox. Naruto's head immediately snapped up. That's Urike-sensei's voice. Naruto looked back down in shame. Of course he hates me. I killed his parents. Who wouldn't hate me? Who would love me? But not Naruto. Not the boy. Naruto was confused by his teacher's words. Didn't he just say he hated the fox? Though I am the fox, aren't I? For him, I have nothing but respect. He's an excellent student. He works with all his might. Even when he didn't understand or get something the first time, he kept trying and trying until he did. He started from the ground up and made the most progress out of any of my students. And for that, I am proud. Haruka looked at Mizuki with a determined face. Yes, sometimes he can be awkward, clumsy, and loud. He's been looked at as a screw-up before. People have mocked and shunned him, and it's given him empathy. He knows how it feels to be in pain. He is not the demon fox like how your narrative claims him to be. He is a citizen of the village hidden in the leaves. He is Naruto Uzumaki, my student, and I won't let you harm him. Naruto gasped in disbelief as he heard his teacher's heartfelt speech about him. The tears streamed down his face even more now. Why did Iruka have so much faith in him after everything he's done? Even when everybody else doubted him, Iruka still believed in him, even if he was responsible for his parents' deaths. He then remembered his conversation with Ghostson years ago. He asked Naruto why he would lay down his life for the people of Konoha after the way they treated him. Hearing Iruka's words just reminded him exactly why he needed to become Hokage in the first place. He had a choice now. Either he gives up on his dream and proves Mizuku and all of the villagers who shunned him right about him and lets down both Iruka and Ghostson, or he endures all of the burden and pain, and he transcends all of the hardship and proves those who believed in him right and surpasses all expectations that were placed upon him. The answer was obvious. Mizuki laughed at Iruka's speech. Oh, that is so sweet, just hearing you say that makes me feel all warm and fuzzy. Well, don't fret, after I'm done killing you, I'm going to take the scroll back and kill Naruto too. That way you and your beloved student can spend all of eternity together in hell. He spun the giant shuriken as he threw it at Iruka, aiming to kill. Say goodbye. Iruka smiled in the face of death. So this is it. I'm so sorry, Naruto. Don't give up on your dream. Make your sensei proud. Right before the shuriken could pierce Iruka's body, a yellow flash erupted from behind the trees and bushes. Then in the blink of an eye, a tree sprouted out from the ground in front of Iruka, protecting him from the black steel blades. Where did that tree come from? Mizuki shouted as he frantically looked around. A red blur sped past him as he felt somebody kick him with enormous force. The attack sent him flying into one of the many trees of the forest. So fast. This was running through both Iruka and Mizuki's minds as they were trying to process what just happened. Who was there? First, you tricked me into stealing a forbidden scroll, putting me and the rest of the village in danger. Then you threatened to kill my sensei. You can hurt me all you want, but don't you dare lay a finger on one of my precious people, or I'll kill you. Naruto, no way is that you. In front of Iruka, standing over him protectively, was none other than Naruto Uzumaki, but there was something very different about him. Instead of the sun-ed blonde hair he was born with, his hair was now a fiery red. His locks flowed alongside the wind as they looked even spikier than before. His eyes, once a sky blue, were now a beautiful purple. They exuded energy and power as one stared right at them. He also seemed taller than what he was before, a couple of years older, a lot more well-defined when it came to the muscles in his body, arms, legs, and face. Gone was the baby fat, and in its place now the face of a hardened shinobi. The face of a man, a determined man. What is this chakra level? It's off the charts. I think it's around the same level as Lord Hokage. Maybe even higher. Where is all of this power coming from? Haruka thought as he could only look at his student in awe. Is this really the same Naruto he's known for all these years? Mizuki wiped it from his mouth. Naruto's kick felt like it was strong enough to kill him if he wasn't a trained shinobi. Loudmouth brat, who do you think you are? You think just because you got some red hair dye and contact lenses that you can beat me at Chunin? You couldn't even perform the most basic clone jutsu. You're a joke. I can kill you in one blow. You are nothing to me. You hear me? Nothing. Naruto's eyebrows raised at that insult. I'm nothing, huh? Seemingly out of nowhere, a chakra chain wrapped itself around Mizuki. The strength and force of the steel was nothing like any kunai or shuriken he ever held or thrown. What is this? How are you doing this? Naruto smirked. You just said that I was a joke and that you could kill me in one blow. But here you are being restrained by one mere chakra chain. How pathetic. And here I thought you were going to give me a challenge, Databeo. Uruka gulped. He couldn't believe that this was his student. But it is. But how has Naruto grown and matured like this in such a short time? What Uruka was witnessing right now was not the same loudmouth academy student who constantly talked about becoming the greatest Hokage to ever live. No, the person in front of him was a man on a mission to prove to everyone in the world that he will surpass all expectations placed upon him and will become the very best there ever was. You cocky little shit, I'll show you a challenge. When I get out of this demonic chain, I'll break your bones and make you watch as I murder your beloved sensei in front of you. And then I'll slowly torture you to death, like the demon you are. Naruto just laughed at Mizuki's empty threats. That laugh, it's not the laugh of a child. It's the laugh of a dangerous man who knows he's already won. Uruka thought as he observed this new version of Naruto. Not only was it his looks that were different, but his voice, attitude, and demeanor all changed. For the better or for the worse. Hey, you said that I was a joke because I couldn't perform the most basic clone jutsu, right? Yeah, what of it? You couldn't even make 3. Well, can you do this? Naruto made a cross-hand sign with the index and middle fingers of both of his hands. Multi-shadow clone jutsu. Over 1,000 copies of Naruto appeared in the forest. Both Uruka and Mizuki were gobsmacked at what they were witnessing. Tell me, Mizuki-sensei, can you do this? How can the high and mighty Chunin perform such a basic clone jutsu? I mean, I am just a lowly academy student that can't perform the most basic of all clone jutsus. So you should be able to do what I just did right now, right? So let's see it, sensei. Put me in my place and make double the amount of clones I just made. Uruka coughed in shock. What, Naruto? How? No way, this is one of the forbidden techniques in the scroll. Only Jonin level ninja are able to create shadow clones, and at most they can only create a couple. It looks like you just created 1,000. This can't be no way, Mizuki yelled out in shock and horror. A mere kid just performed what was thought of impossible. The multi-shadow clone jutsu was forbidden due to the inhuman amount of chakra reserves one would need to perform it without passing out to exhaustion or downright dying. And here was a 12-year-old Naruto Uzumaki producing 1,000 clones like it was nothing. What's the matter? Tough guy, come and get me. You just said that I couldn't even create 3 basic clones. Why are you so surprised? Didn't you just say you were going to kill me with one blow? Well, where's the confidence now? If you're going to talk trash, at least stick with it and back it up. Naruto loved taunting Mizuki. So this was the feeling of proving doubters wrong. He enjoyed this feeling. It made him feel accomplished. It made him feel glad that he never gave up. Naruto, you're amazing, Uruka exclaimed. But the feeling of making one of his precious people proud, that was an infinitely better feeling. That's what made it all worth it in the end. Damn you, you brat, Mizuki shouted as he struggled to get out of the chakra chain. Naruto shook his head and unwrapped the chain. He then clasped his hands together. Wood style, wood wall. Naruto summoned forth a giant wall of wood behind Mizuki which blocked him from the possibility of escaping. Wood style, that's Lord First's ability. Don't tell me Naruto can do that too, Uruka thought as Naruto kept coming with more surprises. There is no running away from the beating you're about to get. Just be lucky that I'm going easy on you. Easy, this is easy, Mizuki thought in shock and horror. There's no way Naruto was even holding back more power than this. But that was all he could think about before he felt the force of 1,000 punches colliding against him. I guess I got carried away. Naruto sheepishly rubbed his head as he looked at the knocked out and wide body of Mizuki. He was still alive, of course, but Naruto practically gave him the beating of a lifetime. There was pretty much no coming back from a humiliation like that. I'm sorry, Uruka-sensei, for all of the trouble I caused you and Gramps. I should have realized what his intentions were the moment he approached me with his idea of stealing the scroll. I'll make sure to return it to where it belongs. Naruto apologized to his teacher for creating such a mess. If he was able to perform the stupid clone jutsu in the first place, then none of this would have happened. Naruto, you saved my life. There is no need for you to apologize. None of this was your fault. I never would have thought Mizuki would betray the village. It's a good thing he revealed his true colors sooner than later. And you were able to master a jutsu that most ninja could never hope to. I'd say it all worked out in the end. Yeah, I guess you're right. Naruto's hair and eyes returned to their original colors as he powered down. His chakra chains disappeared and so did all of the wood he created. His chakra levels went back down a bit, and his height and muscular structure returned to their original size. I have no idea what kind of transformation that is, but all I know is that it makes Naruto stronger than what I thought possible. If he can master it, I wouldn't be surprised if he actually surpasses all of the Hokage who came before him. Naruto, come here. I've got a present for you. Uruka told Naruto to close his eyes as he got his present ready for him. Naruto wondered what it would be. He waited in anticipation. Maybe it was an Ikaraku ramen coupon. Okay, Naruto, you can open your eyes now. Naruto did as his sensei told him. When he opened his eyes, he saw Iruka smiling at him with his headband off. Congratulations on graduating from the Ninja Academy. Naruto, you are now one step closer to your dream. Naruto's breath hitched. He thought he must have been hearing things. There was no chance what Iruka was saying was true. This must be a prank, right? He reached his hand towards his forehead, expecting to touch his green goggles. But he didn't. Instead, he felt a cold steel plate. He looked towards Iruka's hand and saw his goggles. No way. To celebrate this, I'll take you out. We can go for ramen. Naruto sniffled as he couldn't hold back the tears. He rushed Iruka with a hug. Hey, calm down, what's the matter, Naruto? Through his sobs, Naruto could only muster 2 words. Thank you. Iruka smiled as he patted his back. No thank you, Naruto. As Naruto was walking back home, proudly wearing his Konoha ninja headband, he heard a voice he hadn't heard in about 4 years. Congratulations, Naruto-san, on your graduation from the academy. Naruto smiled in delight. Ghost-san, long time no see. Yes, it has been a while. 4 years to be exact. But fret not. I have been watching you all of these years, and I can't help but say that I'm proud of your progress. You made the right choice. You have without a doubt proven yourself to be worthy. Really, for a second there I thought I was letting you down. Mizuki really got into my head back there. I almost broke. But I stayed strong just like you said, and I didn't give up on my dream. It was thanks to Urike-sensei and your words that I remembered my dream and why I couldn't let them die, so thank you very much, Databeo. No worries, Naruto. I only told you the truth, and you proved yourself to be worthy. Naruto's eyes began to lit up. So does this mean? Yes, I can finally entrust you with my technique. Yada, follow the chakra signal that I just sent. Once you get to that location, I will show you everything you need to know. Alright. Naruto followed the chakra signal that the old soul was referring to. It seemed to be deep into the village woods. He had never been here before. How was this hidden? A seal is placed around this area. Only those that are allowed are able to come here. I see. It wasn't long until Naruto finally made it to the location. Okay, Ghost-san, I'm here. Perfect. Now all you have to do is pour a drop of your own to the ground. Then the seal should activate. Okay. Naruto bit his thumb hard enough to draw. He let the flow onto the ground just like the soul told him to. So now what? A second after Naruto asked that, a giant mansion appeared. It seemed as though it was hidden by some sort of sealing jutsu. Naruto somehow could tell that. He looked at the house, and on the front door was a red swirl. The same on the back of his orange jacket. What is this? It is your birthright. Huh, no way. Naruto never even knew he had a birthright. He didn't even belong to a clan, right? Enter. Naruto opened the front door and went inside the house. It was a very luxurious home. A great contrast to his flat and empty apartment. There seemed to be enough space in the house to fit multiple families. This kind of mansion would only be available to the richest of the rich. Someone like the daimyo. Now not even he would be worthy of this home. The only one worthy of this luxurious mansion would be the Transcendent Hokage. This is a pretty nice place. It's your place? Now. Really, no way this big house, no way that it can be mine. I just said it was your birthright, didn't I? Meaning it's yours. You own it. Birthright of what though? Naruto still didn't understand what he meant by birthright. No one ever told him he inherited anything. Well, I guess birthright is not entirely true. You wouldn't have gained access to this mansion simply for being born. You had to earn it, and you earned it tonight. So congratulations, Transcendent child. You're losing me here, Databeo. All will be explained, young Naruto. Just follow my instructions. Go down to the basement. It is where all of the clan's scrolls are kept. Clan's scrolls, so is he a part of the clan? This day just kept getting weirder and weirder by the minute. But he did what he was told. When he entered the basement, he was in a state of wow. There seemed to be an endless amount of scrolls with who knows how many jutsu. An infinite source of knowledge. Fuinjutsu, the art of sealing. You will be spending a lot of time here. But for now, let's focus on one scroll. Go over to the table in the middle. I already had the scroll you needed prepared for you. When Naruto reached said table, indeed there was a scroll already prepared for him. It was a dark purple scroll. Just the feeling of it screamed forbidden. I thought I was through with forbidden scrolls for tonight. Now open it, and when you do, I want you to follow all of the instructions step by step. You must perform the hand signs perfectly and do not over-infuse the scroll with chakra. Naruto gulped. Okay. Naruto opened the scroll, and he saw complex sealing writing. This level of Fuinjutsu was clearly of the most extreme level. He could understand it though. It just came to him naturally. Now plant here on the seal. The new genin of the leaf planted his white thumb on the seal. The seal reacted with a hum as it began to glow a purple light. Okay, this is getting weird, Databeo. The seal accepts your offering. Now hurry and perform the hand signs. Got it. Naruto followed the scroll step by step. It had to be over 1,000 hand signs in a row, but he was able to get each of them without messing up somehow. All of the studying really paid off. This scroll was much more complex than the forbidden scroll he stole from the Hokage, but he was able to understand and memorize all of the forbidden arts from that scroll with relative ease. So while this scroll was more challenging, it was still manageable. In order to cast the jutsu, you must think of the soul you want to save from the dead. Think of them deep in your heart. Your heart and ear will connect with the seal and bring them forth. You must focus though, or you will lose the soul. Naruto had to think quickly. What soul did his heart desire? What is one thing that he wanted and longed for his whole life? What kind of people were my parents? They gave their life fighting for their home. Naruto's hair and eyes transformed once again. the fiery red hair and purple eyes glowing as the seal connected with his heart, and Forbidden Uzumaki Art, Resurrection. A golden light enveloped the entire scroll room. It was enough to knock Naruto back. He got back up as he panted. That technique sapped half of his chakra reserves. He can see why it was dangerous art. If anybody else had even attempted to perform it, they would have surely died due to chakra exhaustion alone. Thank God that he had inhumane chakra reserves. Is it working? Ghosts in Naruto's hair and eyes had already returned to normal due to performing the taxiing technique. Yes, Naruto Uzumaki, here is your reward for proving yourself. The light died down. There was silence in the room. Once the smoke cleared, Naruto's jaw dropped. He had to be looking at the most beautiful woman he had ever seen. She had long flowing red hair all the way down to her legs. Her eyes were a glowing purple, adorned by a heart-shaped face. She had creamy white skin with a perfect hourglass figure to complement her perfect curves along with her huge chest and backside. She was wearing a high-collared sleeveless blouse under a long, loose-fitting dress with a wristband on her left wrist and shinobi sandals. Where am I? What is this place? Wait a minute, this feels familiar. As Naruto studied her more, he realized who she was. Of course he knew who she was. His heart was the one who resurrected her after all. She was who he wanted to meet his whole life. Why, you're... The woman heard Naruto's voice and immediately stared at him. At first she was about to ask why Minato was dressed in an orange jumpsuit and had whiskers on his face, but then she noticed his features more. This was not Minato. His face is hers. Naruto, Mom,